Okay, so we're live and we are finally about to do our spoiler review, not only for episode 4 from last week, but we're also obviously going to cover yesterday's episode in episode 5. So I hope everyone had a good 4th of July weekend that passed. I hope everybody's safe, and let's get into it. I'm not going to do the intro because I don't.
Oh,
I'm tired
yeah.
of I'm tired of seeing the copyright strike. Even though, like I said, I know I'm not monetized. I'm tired of seeing it. It's my OCD. Okay, so let's as I said earlier when well, not earlier, just a couple of minutes ago to you, I'm trying to rehash all the things that happened in episode 4. Do you still have notes from that episode or no?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. So I will say this, I think episode 4 was to me my favorite of the series so far,
Yes.
including yesterday.
Yes.
Yesterday gave us great Easter eggs. Obviously the way it ended, even more curious now and even more stumped. But at the same time, I think episode 4 was just a little bit better. So episode 4, the Nexus event, it's they're still on Lamentis. It's left off right where episode 3 ended. So it started there. So what are your notes for that episode, and what did you think of episode 4?
Episode 4 was my favorite episode. It's probably my favorite Marvel episode of all the shows that have come out so far.
I can see that. I can see that.
It's just well done.
I have to rewatch WandaVision. There might be an episode of WandaVision I might have liked a little bit more. Definitely, obviously not the finale, but I can't remember which one it was. But I absolutely loved it. But I agree.
One of my favorite WandaVision episodes when Pietro came in.
Yeah,
Pietro. Yeah. So it was rivaling that for me, but it bumped it. It was just so damn good.
No, this series in general is just really. I mean, I know people had its
moments.
I know people had issues with episode 3, and I know it does have its moments.
Yeah.
Especially yesterday's episode had a couple of things that I wasn't crazy about, but I still think, and I'm going to ask this question once we're done doing our reviews. I'm going to ask the overall general question, but I still think that they're doing a great job. But we're going to get to that in a minute. I'm going to ask you a question about that. All right, so more into episode 4. Go ahead.
So we find out that Sylvie was taken by Ravonna.
Mm-hmm.
That we don't know what her Nexus event was, but she was taken. Mobius was caught in that time loop. That was really funny. What was her name? Can't remember. Sif?
No, Loki. Loki was caught.
Or Loki was caught in the time loop by Mobius.
With Lady Sif. Yeah.
Lady Sif. So
that was good. I love that cameo. That was a really cool cameo. I'm glad she showed up.
Yeah. So that cracked me up. Like, I love that. Hunter B15 flipped.
Yeah.
That was really
she's
cool.
A strong character, including in I know she only had one scene in yesterday's episode, but she's a strong character, and I'm hoping we get a little bit more in the finale with her.
Yeah, so I like that. Like, that was really cool.
And that was actually, rewatching it, that was a powerful scene. Like, and again, I'm glad I thought they were going to show what she was seeing, but they didn't. But just when she was crying in the rain saying, "I looked happy."
Yeah.
Like, that was that was a really cool and powerful scene.
Yeah. That whole Sylvie Loki romantic thing.
So let me ask you this. What do you think about that? Now, I don't know why, because and this is only after one watching. So when I went on the review last week on Geek Vibes Nation's channel, shout out to him, or shout out to their channel. It's a huge channel. Everybody on the panel pretty much saw it as Mobius took a swing and miss, which I agree. Ravonna put him in the friend zone like 100% in that episode. She's like, "Yeah, I care for you as a friend." You can tell he's into her, and she kind of like friend zoned him. I did not see that happening in like they said that when Loki went to touch her and to tell her right before he got pruned, she let off this "what are you doing?" Like, not a "what are you doing?" like a "get off of me" kind of vibe. I didn't see that. I felt like throughout the episode, when she first touches him, when she touches his arm, that's actually what caused the Nexus event. On Lamentis, that's when the whole time branch spiked, when she touches him. And then you can see, like, I thought there was a little bit of a connection there. And then when they get apprehended and they're walking through the hallway, you know, she gives him a look like, you know, whatever. And then when they finally meet up again as they're going up in the elevator, she asks him if he's okay.
Yeah.
Now, again, I know that could be friendship, and I'm not saying that they're forcing some kind of thing between the two of them, but I didn't see it as it's a one-sided thing where he loves her and she doesn't love him back.
No, I don't see that.
Especially in episode 4. I thought she was just, first of all, she was upset
I think
that
she's more, how do you say, colder than he is, and shows it differently than he does, because she's lived a life alone.
Yeah.
He hasn't.
Yeah.
So you could tell the love vibes are different, but there's definitely mutual feelings there.
I like I said, I saw that in episode 4. I thought even right before he got pruned, like she was just like, what do you want to tell me? Like, just say it. What do you want to say? But she was afraid of it.
Yeah.
Not that she was disgusted by it. She was afraid of it. Everybody's like, oh my God, that's disgusting. It's weird. I honestly don't look again. When you think about it, they're the same person. I get it.
It's definitely narcissist. It's like narcissist.
Yeah, but that's what do you call it? That's not definition. That's what do you call it? That is Loki.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a narcissist. You know, he's full of himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's also alone. So it just makes sense if that's what happened. But yeah, I didn't see a swing and a miss. I didn't see him get pushed into the friend zone. I mean, I saw him got pruned. That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember. Let's see. Of course, we got that that big ending. I mean, the post-credit scenes or the end credit scenes. I don't know if we're going to talk about that later. You want to?
No. One of my other gripes about this last episode is that we didn't get one. I felt like if we needed a mid-credit scene,
and I waited for it, and I didn't get it.
Yeah, it would have been cool. It was surprising we didn't get one in this episode, but we got one in the previous episode. Mm-hmm. However, in the context of what happened and how the last episode ended, I can understand why they wanted to, don't worry, he's still alive, you know?
Yeah.
So I get it. I get why they chose to give us a mid-credit scene last episode, but I was still expecting, especially for the penultimate episode that we always talk about. And that was another reason why I thought this episode fell a little flat, only because of where we are in the series.
Oh, also last episode, we find out that the TVA's a bunch of robots. That was a big one. It was like a Wizard of Oz type thing.
It was, yeah. And we were alluding to that during our other reviews, that it could possibly be like a whole Wizard of Oz thing where somebody else is behind them and pulling the strings, or that they may not even exist. And at one point, I will admit, they tricked me. I thought it was real.
In the beginning of in the episode.
It was, yeah. I still was. So when we saw the eyes in the very beginning of the episode before the Loki credits started, I was just like, all right, well, it doesn't mean anything. And then we see them and I'm like, oh, okay. When they started to talk, I'm like, please be fake. Because like there was, so the main one was a little bit more, clear. You can understand what he was saying. The other ones, like I had to turn my volume up all the way and put captions on just to understand what they were like gargling. So let me ask you this. What surprised you in that episode? As far as, so we got the Mobius pruning, we got the Loki pruning, and we got the robots. Did you see any of those coming?
I mean, to be honest with you, yeah.
The
only thing that wasn't surprising, I think the only thing that was surprising to me actually was the Hunter B-15 turning and helping out.
Yeah, that got me that did get me. I wasn't expecting that because I didn't know when she transferred her powers or whatever she was doing in that Roxacart store, she was unlocking memories or whatever. So I didn't know that. So that was cool that she turned. You can see she was questioning things, but we didn't know that was going to happen.
Right.
But as far as Mobius, I knew that was coming. I mean,
we all kind of knew something was going to happen with Mobius. We all knew that those guys were fake. Like these things, like it's a little bit more to the point and direct in WandaVision.
And then Loki did what we made fun of. What do you call it? This movie, the zombie movie. What was the movie? Army of the Dead? Not Army of the Dead. Yeah. So remember we made fun of that part towards the end when they're on the roof. And instead of getting on the helicopter right away, like he just like took his time, whatever. Like Ravonna Renslayer is not dead; she's just laying on the ground.
Oh yeah, and he just stands there.
Yeah, and at one part, like he's just taking his time to tell her what he has to say, and I'm thinking the whole time, I'm like, oh shit. So I thought something was going to happen to Sylvie to push Loki over the edge. But then when he had his back turned and he was talking to her too long, I'm like, fuck, he's going to get pruned. And then of course we see his chest light up.
Yeah.
Or almost like a callback to him stabbing Coulson in the back in the first Avengers. But yeah, that was so. But the other thing is too, and that's why I know a lot of people stay away from them, and I try to, but I've been guilty of watching them. I knew from promotions and looks ahead of other episodes, like trailers to future episodes. I knew that he wasn't dead because I knew there was other scenes that we haven't seen yet of him. And I knew it was him and it wasn't a variant because of what he was wearing. Even Mobius. It was shown that Mobius was driving a car passing the Sphinx. And it looked like whatever the pyramids and the Sphinx. So I was like, okay, well that scene didn't happen yet. He's still alive. So I'm glad we finally find out in this episode that they're actually not being killed. They don't have the power to do that. They just transferred their energy to a void at the end of time.
Yeah,
which I think is cool. So we know. So the other thing is too that I'm thinking, unless she just didn't survive Alioth, is C20 still hanging around? Because remember they pruned her supposedly. Supposedly, we never seen her be getting pruned.
We don't know. It just said that she's terminated. So we don't know what happened to her.
Yeah. Yep. So that would so that episode, episode 4 was, like I said, a lot better. But it gave us a lot more questions because we're like, what's going on? Who, if the TV, if they are in fact finally, it's admitted that they're robots and they're fake. So what is the ultimate baddie or the puppet master pulling the strings? So then we get episode 5, which gives us sort of more answers. But the other thing is too, the problem that people have with WandaVision, and we'll go back to that for a second, was the whole thing with, the Easter eggs they gave us. Just the fact that their kids were in there, Agatha Harkness, they were literally pointing to Mephisto in so many ways. Not a lot of ways, but in enough ways where we could connect the dots. And I'm not talking about, oh God, the astrophysicist or whatever, the engineer, oh, that's got to be Reed Richards. That was us. But there were Easter eggs that were pointing towards Mephisto, and because we didn't get them, or him, it was a little bit of a disappointment. Now we got this series where it's almost every episode now we're getting, it's Kang. It's Kang. What's going to happen if it's not and it's just another Loki?
Or it could be Miss Minutes too.
Yeah, that's the other theory too, and that's why I kept her behind there. But
so here's the thing. So with WandaVision, we were like Mephisto, and it was Agatha. With Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's like, who the fuck's the power broker? And it was Sharon Carter. Yeah. Now it's like this, and get our brains all riled up for Kang the Conqueror, and it's probably going to be another Loki. Yeah. I think we're just pulling our brains into what it could possibly be.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. I think it's different in this aspect because, we were doing that to a degree with WandaVision and Mephisto, but this episode alone, I think we got like 5 Kang Easter eggs.
We do, but the big one too is we got Ravonna, and she's Kang's romantic love interest, is all this stuff, and now we find a TVA is like this robot thing. We don't really know her motive. She's trying to look for who they are too. We don't really know what the hell is going on with her.
Well, that's the other thing too. And I didn't go on live last night with them, but I was commenting with them in the live comments, and I was able to give him an exact timestamp of a scene. And I believe it was 29 minutes and 14 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. I usually can remember numbers. When she's talking to Miss Minutes alone, not when she was talking to her with Sylvie there. When she's talking to Miss Minutes and she says, I need these files or whatever. And she goes, oh, wow, that's a tall order. And she's like, look, somebody's after who's behind this, and I'm trying to save them. Mm-hmm. All right? Whoever's behind this, I'm trying to save them. Yeah. And Miss Minutes is just like, okay, I'll do it. When she's walking away, she gives the hugest, well, that's not a word, the biggest grin and smiles. Ravonna knows what's going on. Ravonna knows who's behind it.
Right.
She's not in the dark. She's lying. And as I said, with the Easter eggs that we got, it wasn't just like, oh my God, these are little nods. Like the Avengers Tower alone, we saw it in the end credit scene. We saw the Avengers Tower, a decimated Avengers Tower. So we
which I don't really get. I didn't really understand that. So in this episode, we saw the San Francisco Bridge, right?
It was a whole bunch of different. Yeah, this is just a void where everything goes. So it's not necessarily like that's why we've seen the pyramids, the Sphinx.
Yeah.
But
so I was just like, this is like a weird void, and I'm just like, was just everything just plopping over there? Like, is it just an area and there's shit's plopping there, or just everything just plopping over there? That's what I just didn't understand about the void.
I don't know.
First, they were in New York. It looked like New York and Avengers Tower was there, and all of a sudden, it's just like I see the San Francisco Bridge. So I was really confused.
Well, did you notice the name on top of the tower?
Yes. Because my brain's foggy, so I wrote that down. Let's see. It was, dang. So, was it Quang, right? Quang.
Yes. No, QENG, which I think I think it's Kang Enterprises.
Kang Enterprises.
So that was started. So in that timeline, Tony Stark sells it to Kang Enterprises. Sold it to a guy named, I think, Griffin. It's spelled Gryphon, but I'm assuming it's Griffin. Yeah, Griffin is Nathaniel Richards, who is a version of Kang.
Yes.
So I you understand what I'm saying? Like, why are you putting that there? Are they doing it just so we think it is to disappoint us with a Loki? You know, even Eliath, which I have again, some of these deep cuts I have no idea. I don't read the comics, so I didn't know idea.
The reason why I also think it could be a Loki is because this episode was called Journey into Mystery, and that is literally a Loki series in the comics. And that's, I think, one of the comics that was when Thor was introduced too.
Yeah, no, Journey into Mystery is the first appearance of Thor.
Yeah. So it's just like, there's other things that kind of flip you around to think it could just be another goddamn Loki. And we had so many Lokis in this episode too. We even had the Vote Loki. And we even had that one Loki that was on the hologram. That was next to the Vote Loki. If you paid attention to it.
Yeah, he was there.
Like, there's just so many Lokis in this episode. It just makes sense that it could be just another Loki.
I know. So, according to what I was reading online after I watched the episode twice, people online
to watch the episode more than once too to pick up.
Yeah, and I was pausing like crazy. I did pick up on a bunch of things at first glance, and without pausing. My eye caught it right away, and I'm so glad because I was a fan of it. I grew up drinking it as a kid, so I knew right away what the hell that was. I knew that was Ecto Cooler. I was like, Kid Loki's drinking fucking Ecto Cooler.
Yeah, I saw that immediately.
That was awesome. I will say this: at first viewing, when they're about to go underground and they're closing the thing, and they pan down and you see Thor's hammer, and you see that, I just thought it was a tiny Thor, trapped. I didn't realize it was a frog Thor.
Yes, it was a frog.
Yeah. So, and somebody corrected me. Everybody's saying that it's Throg. Throg is actually a different character. This is not Throg. It's just Frog Thor. It's just Thor and a frog. So there were things that I needed to, apparently I didn't get this one because I don't know who the Living Tribunal is, but apparently the Living Tribunal has 3 heads, right? It's, one head this way and 2 heads that look this way, but they're attached. The roll on 1 head, but 3 faces. There's a severed statue of the Living Tribunal at like 38 minutes or something like that in the show. I
did see Yellow Jackets.
Yellow Jacket's head is there, and guess what? Yellow Jacket is also tied to Kang.
Right,
he's tied to Kang too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what they're saying online is what they think this is. They think that castle could be Castle Limbo. And Castle Limbo was what do you call it? who resided in Castle Limbo was future Kang, or Kang Primitive, not Kang Prime, Kang Prime, something like that. So after all the versions of Kang, the ultimate version that stood at the end of time, because he messed around with all the timelines. After messing around all the timelines, so that is the future version of Kang, or Kang. I think it's called Kang Prime, or I'm sorry. Or no. Immortus, the future version of Kang. So that's what they think is going to be in that castle, not another Loki. And the other nod to Kang is Eliath, the Cloud. The
Elias was a good guy though, but
which Kang was afraid of. But there's ties to Kang.
Right.
So
I was just like, I was like, this comment. I was just like, okay, why is Eliath the bad guy in this one? If this was ties to Kang, they're using him as the bad guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then we also find out he's just being used as a guard dog.
Yeah.
Which
I found a little odd. But.
Yeah, and then we got what is it? Helicopter Thanos helicopter. Thanos helicopter. What I have written down a few of them. What else? And Ronin's ship. Did you catch Ronin's ship? You know Ronin from Guardians of the Galaxy, and
I do know Ronin, but
that was also at like the 38 minute. Well, you could start seeing it at like the 37-minute mark, but I think at like 38:14 or 38:08 or something like that, there was a picture perfect. It's just laying in the background, but you can tell it's Ronin's ship from I think it's called the Dead Aster or something like that. I can't really remember his ship name.
The car Mobius is driving with the pizza on it.
Yeah, it looks like from Toy Story.
Yeah,
that's what I got from it.
Legit, it is the Toy Story car.
Yeah.
It's legit what Pixar keeps doing. They keep like inserting that car.
Did you also notice somebody else pinpointed this in? I think it was Falcon and Winter Soldier, and they were trying to tie it to. Or no. I'm sorry, WandaVision.
The hula girl.
The hula girl. They're tying it to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I think, or something like that, or because they also had it, and everybody's like, no, because again, they don't want anything to do with any of those series.
It was
in
definitely
these shows.
On the dash of WandaVision.
Yeah, it was in the dash of WandaVision when Kat Dennings is driving the van,
the truck. Yeah,
the truck. Yeah. So the fact that we see it again is a little, it was like, oh, okay, so are they going to keep putting that little hula girl in places? I thought that was a cool little nod because again, that didn't need to be there, but it was. I like those scene. I like that scene when he picks her up. But again, I saw it coming because I saw the trailer, so I knew he was going to be driving a car. So the audience who didn't see the trailers might not have known who was in that car, but I had already known, which kind of sucks. But yeah, look, we only got one episode to go, so we're gonna hopefully get answers, in the finale. And again, I said this too before. It's not like everybody's like, why are they going to waste Kang on one episode or whatever? It's not like they have to. Look, if they were going to use him to get defeated in this episode, then I could be like, all right, well, that was fucking stupid, especially if he's going to be in Ant-Man Quantumania. But to either show him, have some dialogue or a scene where it's showing you who he is, I'd be okay with that. I don't think it's a waste because you're setting it up. Not everybody knows who Kang the Conqueror. I don't even know who Kang the Conqueror is. It wasn't until this series came out that I started doing research because I wanted to know who he was. Well, no, take that back. When he was announced as the villain to Ant-Man, I looked him up. Mm-hmm. But the more and more Easter eggs that we got from this show, the more research I did, and I wanted to know a little bit more about Kang and and his relationship with Ravonna and all these other little deep cuts. But it's I don't think it's a waste. I think it's actually a perfect setup because you need to set something up like that so people know what to expect. I would assume. I don't know, but the other thing is too, we wouldn't be wrong in thinking that it's possibly another Loki.
No, well, and another thing is they're making movies that mess with timelines and things like that. So it would be cool to kind of introduce that type of character in here.
Yeah, because you got again, we said this. We thought WandaVision was going to be the one that breaks the multiverse. It didn't happen. At least what we know of. We don't know because remember what Agatha says to her. You don't know what you just did. So we don't know if she did fuck anything up. However, now that we are getting closer to Doctor Strange 2, and we're also getting closer to Spider-Man No Way Home, and these things are being teased to have a multiverse. It would make sense if something happens at the end of this episode,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And it doesn't necessarily have to. It also, too, I wouldn't be surprised if this series isn't ended with a big, not a big question mark, but where it's not, tied with a bow and handed us a perfect ending, because they need to probably leave it open because of the consequences that might come from this series. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It would make sense, especially because the season 2's we're supposedly getting a season 2 of Loki.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, So I don't know what to expect. The other thing I said live on in the chat yesterday's to the other guy's stream, and I'll ask you with and then I have another question. I have a really big question to ask you. I saw another thing in a trailer, and it's a scene that didn't happen yet. And I don't know how many trailers. Have you seen any of the trailers for the promotions? Now, it doesn't even have to be like last week's. I'm talking about like in general, because there was a couple of scenes that did not happen yet.
I do not peep those because I don't want to like see things before it happens.
All right, so I shouldn't say anything.
Go ahead.
There is a scene, and spoiler. Well, I mean, guys, this says spoiler. This is a spoiler review, but there's a scene in one of the trailers with Loki on a throne, a gold throne. It looks like he's in Asgard.
Okay.
King Loki. We didn't get that yet.
Right.
So, unless that's how this series is going to end, with him ruling in a timeline, or
well, that's what Sylvie said too.
Yeah. Maybe she rules as his queen.
Creepy.
I do like that he says, maybe we can figure it out together. I do like that. But is that who we're expecting? King Loki, or just another version of Loki? That's the only thing that worries me about the Kang theory, is that one scene that we haven't gotten yet.
Yeah.
So we'll see about that. Okay, so my last question to you, and it's from a line in this episode with Classic Loki.
Mm-hmm.
So now Classic Loki gives an explanation to why he's old.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, Loki's like, how are you old? How did you survive if we get killed by Thanos?
I know exactly what you're going to ask.
He explains, I gave the most realist projection I could possibly do. So real that I even fooled the Mad Titan. And then I hid in the background as one of the debris and floated into space, where I hid in plain sight, basically.
Yep.
Now, everybody and their mother theorized that there was a scene in Infinity War where it looked like there was something in the background watching, and Loki was possibly an illusion and he did not die. So is this just a nod to that theory? Or do you believe that it's possible that that's what happened in Infinity War and Loki's actually not really dead?
Okay.
or no, there's a third possibility, though. I'm sorry. The third possibility is that just happened to Classic Loki's timeline.
I think that happened in Classic Loki's timeline. I think that there's a possibility that, Loki could have done that, but I don't think that we've seen it happened in the movie or anything like that. I think that they probably set it to leave it open for future possibilities to have Loki come back.
That's what I was just about to say. I think that makes the most sense. And the reason why is because there's two different Lokis. You got this variant, right? I mean, there's more than two, but you got the 2012 one that was apprehended in New York and then vanished. And then, of course, you have I guess the more mature Loki that has the memories of fighting beside Thor and, whatever. Even though this one is kind of going in that route anyway, without those memories, but I feel like to have him still running around is one way to bring him back and keep him.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if they are going to restore things the way it should be, he needs to go back to his timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So in doing that, if you wanted to keep the Loki character, you have to set up some type of way that he did survive that without people be like, oh, come on, how many times is he going to fucking die?
Exactly.
I think they needed to say that. That's why I think it's a possibility that he did do that, because we don't really know Loki's powers. We're just figuring them out as an audience.
Right. As the show
He's figuring them out.
Like, wow.
She's like, where she's like, no, you do have the power to do that. We're the same.
Yeah.
So he's figuring things out. So the more he's figuring out, well, the more we're realizing that he has. So maybe we didn't understand that. I mean, we all kind of assumed he could project, but remember, in the projections, they were hologram. They weren't real enough. The only thing that made no sense though is we heard a fucking neck crack. You heard his neck crack.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that still holds me to where I'm agreeing with you. I think the Loki in Infinity War did in fact die.
Yes.
And this is just probably classic Loki's not only version of what happened, but at the same time, I think it's a cool little nod, possibly just to our theories and what we put out there.
Yes.
But it's but it also could possibly be just a setup to have him in future versions of the show.
He is a good character and he's a strong character, and I think and this show is probably testing that as well. So they're like, oh well, we did great. Let's bring him back. We can bring him back now because we said this. We gave him an in,
Yeah.
So,
are you expecting one of them to stab them in the back?
One of who?
The two Lokis that are remaining.
Oh,
Sylvie.
Yeah. So I was thinking about that.
I mean, they put it in there. They put it in existence where she's like, "Are you going to turn on me?" Yeah. And look, she's, as you said, she's a lot colder than he is.
Yes, I think
he's realizing what he did to his loved ones. She didn't realize that because she wasn't around loved ones. She's been alone, like you said.
Yes.
So I don't know if she does know how to accept.
And she would stab him in the back. Yes.
And what do Lokis do? They stab each other in the back. And I know a lot of people were saying on yesterday's stream.
Except I really like the bond that the kid Loki had with the alligator. I thought that was really cool. I was like, maybe, just maybe, that wouldn't happen.
Right.
They had a little bond thing going. And even classic Loki,
Yeah. Yeah, well, he died with glorious purpose.
Mm-hmm.
He died laughing. So that was a cool little scene. And then of course, it was really cool to know the Nexus event that the kid Loki created. He fucking killed Thor. He's like, what was your Nexus event? And he's like, I killed Thor.
Yeah.
And then apparently, which they were laughing, they said it was a joke. It didn't happen. But boastful Loki was saying, yeah, after I took down Thor and Iron Man. I'm like, what?
Captain America.
I'm sorry. I knew saying Thor, I knew it didn't sound right, but you're right. After taking down Captain America and Iron Man, they're like, and he claimed all 6 Infinity Stones. They're like, yeah.
That was funny.
But yeah, so what was the other one? Oh, so I don't know what you had issues with this episode in particular.
When they were under the blanket.
No, I didn't have an issue with that. My issue was President Loki, his scenes. We kept getting teased with President Loki. I thought there was going to be a little bit more to it, and then we get everybody turning on each other, and then we get this like little, it just took me out of the episode when they were all fighting. And then when the alligator bites his hand off, it was very like Captain Hook sort of thing. But, it wasn't bad, but it's just the things that were going around. It just seemed too, I don't know.
I didn't particularly like that scene. I didn't particularly like the scene. I thought it was awkward when they were under the blanket together. I was like, these two scenes are not necessary.
I would have liked if she would have just put his head on her shoulder. Or her head on his shoulder. That was it. That's all. I honestly thought that's what was going to happen. The other thing I thought was going to happen, but it was just he was going to go distract the Cloud, Goliath. I thought that they were going to try to. I thought she's like, we need to do something to create. I forgot what it was, to create something. I was just like, he's going to kiss her. I thought he's like, you know what I'm going to do? And she's just like, no. And then he runs away and tries to create a diversion. But I was like, oh, what's going to happen here? But yeah, no, I thought that scene with the blanket or whatever it was, the robe, I thought she was just going to put her head on his shoulder, whatever, something like that.
Yeah.
But I was all right with that scene. No, the other scene, like I said, the other scene with President Loki, it just took me out of it. I was okay with them being like 15 different Lokis in one room. I was all right with that, because they all look different except for President Loki and our Loki. But it was just like I said, them fighting. It was just weird. It was just a weird. It was a bizarre scene for me. That was it. It just took me out of it.
What did I have about Vote Loki? Thought it was weird.
Oh, that and I was hoping for an end credit scene. Other than that, you take those two out of the, those two gripes out. I was okay with this episode. I thought this episode, but like I said, just
Coming off the last episode, I just didn't feel it as much. I think that was my problem.
yeah.
Like,
Well, I think it was
the penultimate episode. I was
that's what I'm saying. So if this was, let's say, if this was episode 2 or 3, it probably would have felt a little bit stronger. But like you said, if the fact that Tom Hiddleston said episodes 4 and 5 really, turned things around or whatever, which I can see somewhat, especially the way this ends. But I was expecting a little bit more coming off of episode 4.
Yeah.
Had episode 5 happened first, I mean, it would make no sense, chronologically. But I'm saying that type of episode, had episode 5 and 4 kind of switched, then I can see where episode 4 being a penultimate episode, because of how it ends with them discovering that the timekeepers are actually fucking androids.
Yeah.
As opposed to us seeing, a castle where it could be the fucking the what do you call it? What is it? What are the kids? The Von whatever? Not Von Helsing's. The Sound of Music. What's the last name again? The Van something kids. You ever see The Sound of Music?
A long time ago.
Yeah, that's why I can't remember who it was. The Von Traps. No, the Von Traps.
The Von Traps.
Yes. Glad I see. I senseless trivia. The Von Traps could be living there for all we know. Another theory, which definitely not. Like that's Doctor Doom's castle in Liberia.
Yeah, I read that. I'm like, God,
no,
stop. No.
Yeah, Liberia is on a fucking meteor.
Stop. No, not Doctor Doom.
There are also theories that that's possible. That the void or the end of time is the quantum realm. It's possible, but I don't think so. They're trying to match the scene in Ant-Man where you see like this city in the background, very tiny city in the quantum realm, but it's a huge city. This is just one castle. So I don't see the correlation between the two. I don't know if that's. I mean, it would make sense if it's in the quantum realm, but I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah.
It would make sense that the TVA is in the quantum realm, not necessarily that one mini castle. Not mini castle, the one castle.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Look, it's going to be one of two things. At this point, I don't think there's any other thing that it could be other than the future version of Kang after he's messed with all the timelines. And because if it is the future version of Kang and he's just sitting on his throne after creating whatever chaos he did by going all these different timelines, if they're going to kind of not erase what he did, but like confront him or whatever, he's going to have to mess the timelines all over again. Apparently, I don't know the end game to that. Yeah. But like I said, it can only be really one of two. It's either that or just a different version of Loki.
Yeah.
Just pulling the strings. Or
Miss Minutes just chilling on the throne.
Yeah,
Miss y'all.
Yeah, hi y'all. Miss Minutes, like, did you see? She's like, I'm trying to find it. It's buried deep, dear. Yeah, you'd find it if it was real. Like, who didn't know that was bullshit? Oh, what about the Void spaceship? The spaceship specifically, which there actually is a spaceship that was created by Reed Richards that flies into the void of space or the void of time. But yeah, but it's just a prototype. Oh God, yeah. I don't think it's Miss Minutes. I don't. I think she can possibly be an artificial intelligent, over like the AI, over like almost like a Jarvis, just overlooking the person that's actually behind everything, but overlooking it for them. But she, from that one scene with her and Ravonna Renslayer, I feel like Ravonna knows more about what's going on than she does. Mm-hmm. You know, because she even seemed like a little like when she said whoever's behind this is in danger. Miss Minutes like kind of perked up, like what? Really? Okay, I'll get right on it. Mm-hmm. And then Ravonna's like, "Bitch, got you." But seriously, if you didn't notice it before, on a rewatch, go to 29 minutes and 14 seconds, around that, maybe 29 and 13. I could be off by a second, but it's literally right after Miss Minutes vanishes. she puts away her temp pad and then starts to walk away towards the camera, and she has the biggest grin on her face.
Did you see the Funko Pop that they're selling? I bought it. It's Ravonna and Miss Minutes.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't pre-order that. I told you I ran out of room. I'm running out of room.
Never run out of room.
And the other thing is too, these pre-orders, like, okay, look, this, and we talked about this, and I don't want to take up too much time talking about it, but it's like, okay, so you got season 2 of Mandalorian finished in December, right? Their fucking Funko Pops are out now. WandaVision's Funko Pops came out months. Like, I want the Funko Pops when the series is relevant, not after we're done talking about it and it's, it's over with. Yeah. These Funko Pops don't come out until August, right? Or October.
No, October. I'm not getting
October. Yeah, October. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? October. Who's going to be thinking about Miss Minutes? I mean, I have her clock, but you know what I mean. But I have it now.
You are.
But I have it now, and I've had it since episode 1.
Yeah.
She's been watching. It's been her all along.
It's Miss Minutes all along.
All right. So look, I obviously, I didn't make the thumbnail, so I don't know when we're gonna actually do the MCU thing.
Well, God damn it, Joe.
I know. We will do it soon. We will do our 23 film review, not review, ranking. Our 23 MCU rankings soon. But look, we only got one episode left of Loki, and then the next thing, of course, we got Black Widow tomorrow. Black Widow's coming out.
Yes, I've already seen mixed reviews on it, and I'm bummed.
So we can we can review that if you want. Also, that's coming out, obviously before Loki finale. So we got that. And if you want, it's not part of the MCU ranking, but we can kind of like do our Black Widow review, and then lead into
rank it in.
No. Then do. I'm not messing around with that. My list is my list. I'm not changing it. But and then we can kind of like end the stream and then go right into the MCU the 23 film ranking. I was going to call it the Infinity Saga, but Spider-Man Far From Home isn't really part of the Infinity Saga. It's the aftermath of the Infinity Saga. So it's the only one that's outside of that 22 film arc, But because I was gonna name the thumbnail like the Infinity Saga review or something like that, but we can't really do that technically because Spider-Man Far From Home, as I said, came out after Endgame. So, yeah. But other than that, look, I'm looking forward to obviously the finale of Loki, which comes out next week. We got Black Widow coming out tomorrow, which, like you said, there have been mixed reviews. I honestly, I'm staying away from the reviews. I haven't read any of them.
I don't care.
I haven't read any of them.
I waited 2 years for this crap.
Yeah, I haven't read any of them. So I'm staying away from the reviews. I want to watch it fresh. I want to watch it without any what do you call it, influence. Because I've noticed a couple of movies I've seen. I've read reviews before, so I kind of had like that, like I'm not gonna like you before I watched it, and then whatever. But so all right, so we'll figure out when we could do that. Obviously we'll do the Black Widow review before our Loki, I'm assuming. So I don't know if you're free this Sunday. It's up to you.
Okay.
The only thing I'm doing Sunday is watching soccer. Italy versus England.
Okay. Football.
So maybe we can do our Black Widow review that day. We'll see. Or tomorrow.
Slow down.
I could do it. I'm probably going to watch it early tomorrow. Yeah, I'll probably wake up tomorrow, do whatever I got to do with Anakin, feed the dog, and then we could do that. Watch that, maybe even do. I don't know. I have no idea. We got to see.
Okay.
I want to strike the metal. What do you call it? What is it? Strike the what? Iron.
Strike the iron, isn't it? Strike the iron while it's hot.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense though. What do you mean strike the iron while it's hot though? I don't understand. Because that's what I was about to say, but it doesn't make any sense. I don't know, guys. What does that mean?
Because when you're forging something, you have to strike it.
Oh, strike the. You know what it was? I am fucking retarded. I literally took it. I took it literal. I thought it was an iron. Just now, no. I get it. Strike the iron while it's hot because that's how you forge a fucking weapon. It's an iron. It's a piece of iron. Yes. That very just at that one moment.
I'm like, Joe, what don't you get?
I was trapped in a time loop. and I was with an iron. You gotta strike the iron while it's hot. I was like, wait a minute, what do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mom, is this iron hot? Ah!
You don't literally beat an iron. No.
Yeah, I was like, come here, iron. What the fuck?
No.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yes.
So I figured with Black Widow, strike the iron while it's hot, get the review out while people right before other people do it. So again, just leaving it out there. If you want, I'm available tomorrow. Just let me know when you're done watching Black Widow. If you want to do it, tomorrow. If not, we can always do it Sunday. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
All right. So guys, look out for that. Obviously look out for Loki's finale review next week. Hope you guys enjoy this upcoming weekend. And I hope you guys enjoyed the last episode, last couple of episodes. Let us know what you think. I should say, let us know what you thought of these last 2 episodes. And what are some of your theories now? You've heard me say I still think it's Kang, but it could possibly be just another version of Loki. I know that's another theory. So what do you think, especially after this last episode with all the Easter eggs? Do you think that things are pointing more towards Kang, which I do? And my worry now, and this is what I wanted to ask you, this is what I was setting up at the beginning, is that a lot of our speculations kind of ruined WandaVision for us. It was most of the audience's fault. Not 100% with Mephisto, but a lot of the other things that we did, like the Reed Richards cameo.
Emma Frost.
Emma Frost. Now, the Doctor Strange cameo actually was supposed to happen, so we weren't completely wrong. They just cut that, where they didn't film it because they couldn't get, I think because of COVID, they couldn't get, what's-his-face to come over, Benedict Cumberbatch. So there were a few things that were supposed to happen that didn't. They got cut. But I feel like with how they are setting up Kang so much and so deep, and not only deep cuts, but other things that are just in plain sight, if they don't deliver with the Kang, if they don't give us the Kang,
what are we gonna do? Pick at Disney?
No, but is this another disappointment or another failed? Not another. It's not a. I wouldn't say it's a failed.
Why
series.
would it be failed? I mean, it was awesome that it was Agatha and Wanda.
Yeah, it was, but
like we were too busy focusing on other shit. There were actual Easter eggs to Agatha too.
No. I'm not talking about the series in general. I'm talking about the finale. The finale was a disappointment.
Was WandaVision's finale really disappointing?
I thought so. There was a few parts of WandaVision that I loved. I loved that, she created the not the hex, the spells. She cast the spells within the hex that they're in, so Agatha couldn't do her magic. I thought that was awesome. And that fight between the two, and of course the end credit scene with her being, in the astral projection. But other than that, there was things that we wanted as, again, and rightfully so. It was our own fault. It was our own speculation. But
again, that's why you don't go into it going, oh, yeah, it's going to be Kang. It's going to be
right.
Kang.
No. But that's my point. And that's why I think this series is different, because as the audience, we're not just going in like, oh, my God, look, she farted. It's got to be Mephisto. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're not doing that. They're literally saying, here's Avengers. No, it's not Avengers Tower. It says Kang. For Kang Enterprises, there's Goliath. They're giving us deep cuts. Ravonna Renslayer, like all these things.
They're literally giving us these deep cuts. They're like writing it on the wall. Do you really think it's going to be him?
But if it's not, you're setting your audience up for disappointment, though. That's my point. That's my point. Oh. Now, am I going to be disappointed if it's another Loki? No, because I'm expecting it. I'm expecting either of the two, or Miss Minutes. But I just think at this point it's just stupid if it's Miss Minutes. I think that's look. It's a fun theory. It's a fun theory, but if that actually happened, it's fucking stupid.
Like if she's like a variant of Loki, I would die. Hey y'all!
Oh, that was really funny when she just comes. Hey y'all!
Little Loki horns on.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I just think that they're just. And look, I'm okay with misdirection. I think maybe some of the things they did in WandaVision was misdirection, so we thought it was Mephisto. The devil's in the details. Like they were just saying a couple of things, but and again, that's another thing. Everybody's, well, they said things like devil's in the details. Okay. So they said devil, the word devil. Is it right away it's going to be Mephisto. So that's on us. But this, when they're giving you, I mean, at this point, they should just say fucking Nathaniel Richards. And then like, oh, is it going to be Kang? Like, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even with Agatha, we're like, no, there's no way they're going to put her in plain sight, call her Agnes, and all these things. And it's, and then all of a sudden it's Agatha all along. Well, we kind of knew that, but we didn't know if it was that blatant. Mm-hmm. So I just think, look, it would be a missed opportunity, just like it was a missed opportunity in The Falcon and Winter Soldier that they didn't introduce Mandarin as the power broker with Shang-Chi coming up.
That's what I'm saying. That's what pissed me off a little bit.
And how many times did we say it could be Sharon Carter? It could be Sharon Carter. I was like, no, it can't be that easy.
But it was literally that easy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid that they're going to do that with this one.
But I took it as face value, though, with that because of what happened at WandaVision. I didn't set myself up for anything, right, any special type of thing. I was like,
but that's what was so fun with WandaVision. That's why WandaVision, to me, even though this series, I think Loki's a better series. I do a little bit. So far, the finale's got to be, if they stick the landing with the finale, I can probably put it over WandaVision. But with the reason why I liked WandaVision, of course, it's 9 episodes, so it was longer, but shorter runtime. It gave us more conversation. Like we had a really good conversation with this episode because there was a lot of Easter eggs. Mm-hmm. WandaVision gave us conversation because we were speculating so much, because they would throw in like these little, not even breadcrumbs. They were just like hints that it could be something. And then we were like, oh, well, shit. Well, we're literally Charlie, what's his name?
Charlie Day.
Yeah. We're fucking doing whatever on the whiteboard, trying to pinpoint and do it. And that's what we were doing. We were literally, I was literally taking pictures of a whiteboard, trying to construct their what do you call it? Their dossier and trying to figure out if there was any notes that we were missing. Yeah. That's what we were doing. This series doesn't do that. Like it's more fleshed out. Yeah. So that's why I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know what I'm saying.
I don't either. I lost you.
Yeah.
15 minutes ago.
All right. All right.
Well, then, when you were trying to beat an iron.
Yes. So this is when we end the stream. But look, let me know if I was spitting some sense. Do you guys think that this would be a disappointing finale if it's not Kang the Conqueror? Even in just like I said, it could be an end credit scene. I don't care. Could be literally an end credit scene at the very end. It was him. But or do you guys think that it still could be? Which I still think it could possibly be another Loki. I just think that it would be a missed opportunity not to introduce Kang the Conqueror. Because what else?
It's Thanos. He re-snapped his fingers.
Imagine Thanos just fucking like, wait a minute, the TVA's got them as fucking paperweights. Goes in. Guess I have to do things myself. I don't know. You're going to see Thanos flying in his helicopter.
Oh, God. Okay.
All right, guys. So like I said, look out for our Black Widow review sometime this weekend, possibly tomorrow, but I don't know. I don't know if we, it's up to Kitty. So either tomorrow or Sunday, well, look out for our Black Widow review, spoiler review. And then, of course, you know what, guys, I'm going to make an executive decision. I think we should wait till Sunday. Give people at least a couple of days to watch it before we drop spoilers. Because there's already spoiler reviews on YouTube, which I think is ridiculous. It's not even fucking out yet. It's not even out yet. Well, you're going to give a spoiler review for a movie I can't personally watch? Just because you guys can watch screeners doesn't mean you should be able to spoil. Like, don't spoil. I'm okay. Now, there are movie reviews, non-spoiler reviews out there. That's fine. Because you're only giving your thoughts. Mm-hmm. You're not spoiling anything. That's fine. So maybe we will hold off till Sunday.
Okay.
I think that makes sense. Do it before my soccer game at 3:00. I'm not playing. You know what I mean?
Oh, I was gonna say.
No, Team Italy. Team Italy. I submitted.
Team Italy?
No, I submitted an application to be on there, and they said no. You're 43 and not athletic. Okay. So,
those are the
you know what?
Now.
I'm actually
young and athletic. Okay, got it.
Got it. So we'll see. All right, guys. Enjoy. Like I said, enjoy your upcoming weekend, and we will see you soon. Kitty, thank you once again.
Bye, guys.
And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Talk Supe, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.